So a member of the committee asked, can you make a video on which of these use cases benefit XLM? Because for now, it's like owning an iPhone and looking at somebody talk about Apple stock. That made me laugh. That really made me laugh. But in order for us to answer that question, we're going to have to get real deep. We're going to have to break down the XLM coin and how it is used on the Stellar network. From there, we're going to break down how the lumens token is used for each individual use case. Now, the reason why I'm putting this video together is to give you extra context when news comes out about a new partnership or a new product, so that way you'll better understand how the coin itself is going to be reflected. Let's jump right into it. So XLM is also known as lumens when conducting transactions on the Stellar blockchain. Max supply is 50 billion, and yeah, they use it for a lot, both on-chain and within the company itself. Primarily, it's used for transaction fees. These fees are collected in a fee pool, which is not connected to the open market. They also have upgrade reserves. This is for the development of the chain, grants, so forth and so on, alongside an SDF mandate that sees lumens used for business operations. So yes, Stellar does sell lumens on an open market, and they use exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitstamp, but it pays for salaries and operational expenses. I would feel more uncomfortable had they not made that information publicly available. It's listed all on their website, and if you haven't taken a look at Stellar's website recently, they've gone through a nice rebrand. It looks clean, very clean. Now, this does also mean that these lumens do enter the circulating supply and could be seen as added selling pressure alongside the sell pressure from traders. On the other hand, and this is important, the lumens is an operational asset. This means that for every use case, you're gonna have to use the lumen. I think we're gonna reach a point in this market very soon where we have to change how we evaluate these assets. You could argue right now that there are more people trading Stellar lumens than using Stellar lumens. What happens when that's no longer the case? My point exactly. Now, Stellar lists 4 use cases: aid disbursement, on and off ramps, cross-border payments, and the big one, asset tokenization. We're going to start with tokenization because it really gives us the best idea of how all the use cases work together. Now, in its simplest form, asset tokenization is the process of digitizing a real-world item. Certain research will tell you that it can save us billions of dollars and spawn a $16 trillion industry by 2030. It's only 7 years away, so it's pretty big. Now on Stellar, they break it down into 4 steps. An issuing account is created, then a distribution account, so sender, receiver, then a trust line is set between them. The trust line sets the terms and conditions of the token or the asset being transferred, and then finally, once the asset or value has been transferred from the issuer to the distributor, the process is complete. This is what's called an operation on the Stellar network. And remember, all operations require the use of lumens. The 2 best examples of this, USDC Circle and the Franklin Templeton Investment Fund. Now, when it comes to Circle, USDC on Stellar is a tokenized version of what Circle offers. Circle would be the issuer in this case, Stellar would be the distributor. Conditions are agreed upon through the trust lines, which allows USDC to move here or there. Franklin Templeton, same story, they're the issuer. The distributor in this case would actually be the Benji investing app. The product or the asset being moved is the Franklin Templeton Investment Fund, tokenized as the Benji token. The trust lines established on Stellar, and the value is moved on Stellar. So we can see how crucial the lumen is to the biggest use case on the Stellar chain. But what about the rest of them? Well, Let's talk about aid assistance, or aid disbursement as they call it. The purpose of this is to provide funds to refugees in a time of crisis. Stellar calls this a cash assistance program. Now, depending on how you grew up, you know that cash assistance is not just given to refugees. Right now, it's mainly being used in the Ukraine with Stellar's vibrant wallet. It's also important to know that Stellar is piloting Ukraine's central bank digital currency, but we won't talk about that. More recently, MoneyGram launched a non-custodial wallet on Stellar. This could honestly bring the exact same functionality here to the United States. Which brings us to use case number 3, cross-border payments. Now, these are used by businesses to make transactions with other countries. Typically, there's at least 2 banks involved, which slows down the process. Cross-border payments on Stellar simply allow you to skip the middleman and make all transactions on the Stellar network. So let's say I hired an editor for this channel and he lives in Africa, but he's expecting payment on the 12th. However, due to his bank and how banks work, he doesn't get his money until the 17th. If we were using Stellar and we set up a payroll account and established a trust line that made sure he got his money on the 12th every time, we wouldn't have any issues. That's what it's gonna look like on a much larger scale. Cross-border payments, much like tokenization, research will tell you, it is a large industry. We're talking about the ability for Walmart to purchase goods from Africa and for the producer in Africa to get that payment same day. Same day. It's going to revolutionize everything. Now, speaking of revolutionizing everything, we have on and off ramps, and at time of recording, Stellar Lumens has 38 of them. These are entry points for the Stellar network that allow for fiat conversion, asset issuance, and stablecoin disbursement. Biggest examples here would be MoneyGram, Circle, and MoonPay, which you can consider payment channels. They also have worked with CoinMe. This is allowing lumens to be in ATMs scattered all around the world. So, anywhere where you can access Stellar Lumens, whether it be from a physical brick and mortar location or a digital portal, that would be considered an on and off ramp. Coinbase can also be listed here because they've integrated Stellar rewards into their debit card system. Now, the key thing to remember is each use case boils down to an operation that uses lumens. Each new partnership, each new application that uses Stellar to transfer value must use lumens. There is no other option, unlike with some other projects. Now, I also want you to know about Protocol 19. This is interesting. Protocol 19 and Starlight. In 2022, Stellar upgraded to Protocol 19. This allows for layer 2 networks to exist on Stellar. During testing last year, they processed 1.3 million transactions per second. Okay? So, understand that when it comes to transactions per second, Stellar's potential hasn't even been tapped into yet. All right? Tell your friends. Now, Stellar also, I want you to know this as well. An example of this would be Tempo Finance, which integrated Brazil's national payment system, Pix, which we've discussed on the channel before. It's the same thing as FedNow. It allows high-value payments to be processed through Stellar. They can also do that here in the United States thanks to a company called BP Ventures, which gave Stellar the ISO 20022 functionality, which is the de facto standard now for high-value payments, especially here in the United States. Now, with all of that, you should now be able to better understand stories that come out about new applications, new partnerships that make use or want to be an on and off ramp, an anchor, asset tokenization. You should have a better understanding of what this is going to mean for the Lumen token itself. Now, if you want to learn more about that relationship that they have with BP Ventures, you can watch the video on the screen. With that, Hope you enjoyed this content. If you found value, of course, I want you to hit the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, because I make stuff like this all the time. And I want you to have a great day, have a prosperous day. And most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'm Wade Teamer. I'll see you in the next one.